Hey Tevis ist ein Tag, wir steht in Teira, Yitzchok ist geboren, ist Schei Kosol Elikim, Arbe Schei Knasse Bo'elom, Chelim Nirpo, Akores, Nikpedo, Nifkedo. Hey Tevis ist ein Tag, was Hayomim, O'Eilen, Iskorim, Benassim. Hey Tevis ist nicht geschehen mit 31 Jahren zurück. Hey Tevis ist geschehen, Tov Shinai Ches. Und man sieht, dass Ayid, was ist gesetzen in Beiso Asurim 8 Jahre, und was Gocha Protis, wenn es heraus von Tfisa Lecheus, Herev Hey Tevis. Das ist Ayim, she Arbes Chnasses Chek Bo'elom. Das Retzach wegen Ayid, der Rebbe sagt in die Siche von Hey Tevis, Tov Shemen sein, Ki lemichyo shlochani Elikim lifnechem. Das ist ein Schliches von Elikim. Das heißt, Agama Yesef gewinnt mit Zerayim, mit der gewinnt mit dem Verkäfter verevet. Später hat sich es ausgewiesen, dass lemichyo shlochani Elikim lifnechem. Aber das ist nicht Shem Havaya, das ist Shem Elikim, das ist nicht gewinnt in Eifen von Chesed. Das heißt, aber von deswegen, das ist ein Schliches von dem Ebersten. Dort bin Ayid, was hat gewinnt auf ein Schliches. Wir können das ja nicht sagen, wie sie vorhin bewusst wird und Friedrich Rebbe, wenn der Friedrich Rebbe gesetzt in den Tfisse und wenn Saruis hat gesagt, als Lechatchile wollte das nicht genommen. Aber als er gesetzt in den Tfisse wird das nicht verkaufen, verkohl in der Halme. Der Amerikaner Schuss. Der Gesetz in Ayid, was die ganze Welt hat gesehen, was hat gemacht, Akido Shem Shomayim 8 Jahre. Der, was ist gekommen und visiten, ist Saruis Mechusik. Gemeint, geht Mechazik sein und hat Mechazik gewinnt. Es dort geht am Reben Sachosid, Ayid Abal Chesed, was hat getan Chesed, dass gewinnt in Ayeva, gewinnt Abal Zdoke, und gewinnt Mefazer gewinnt Momene, Bekol Eilum Kulei. Das wissen alle. Und keiner versteht nicht, was es gewinnt, der Elikim, der Schliche seine von Eifen von Shem Elikim, keiner versteht nicht, was das ist gedacht sein. Aber eine Sache sagt man, aber Schas, Shalomot Chezaruis von Tfisse, hat es gemacht, der Achdus in Klal Yisrael, Chsidim, nicht Chsidim, also wir sind halt doch nicht Chsidim, und Misnagdim, Freien, Goyim Lavdl. Es hat gemacht, der Achdus, was bei ihm ist nicht verstandig. Und wir verstehen, dass wir das dachten, es ist ja nicht der erste Schritt, was ich gesetzt in Tfisse, wo es ist. Für was ist Davke in dem Minion, hat man gesehen, als Achdus von Klal Yisrael. Bei ihm ist sich auch nicht kein Territz, bei das dachten, und sie bequetscht sich mit Zertiat Territz. Aber die Hitten sind zufrieden, dann geht er aus den Tfisse. Nur, man gewinnt als Sachhitten aus den Tfisse, man gewinnt zufrieden, die gesagt, Lachaim, und gar nicht schlafen. Dort hat man gesehen, Ayid, was hat Me'achat gewinnt Klal Yisrael, und gebracht, Iden in 770. Bescheid, so angekommen, die Zochen von der Dan Notzach, Hey Tevis, mit dem Sein, alle gelaufen in 770. Aber gerne die Psura, Shalom Mordche, ist raus von Tfisse, Iden angelaufen in 770. Was bleibt in 770? Was? Shalom Mordche ist noch gefunden, aber ich weiß wo. Aber bis Chayen allem gewusst, dass Shalom Mordche gesagt. Shalom Mordche came home, hat er gesagt in 770. Und Shalom Mordche came home, hat er gebracht, zedlicher Tausender Iden home. Die, was sie gewähnt, da Begashmis, und die, was haben geguckt auf 770 live. Zayid, was hat schön gehabt, das Chus, an dem Tag, was er raus von Tfisse, hat er Mekar gewähnt, zedlicher Tausender Iden zum Reben. Und zedlicher Tausender Iden zum Reben haben geguckt, was tut sich in Beis Chayeno. Mikan o Eiro jetze lekol Eilum Kulei. Da liegt der Ner am Arove, der Ner hat gebrennt, und dort mit gesehen, als Hu Bachaim. Ist das selbe Shalomot, hat er gehabt, als das Chus, ist öfter, wird er uns geben zu verstehen, dem Ingen, was er da gerade im Chus. Weißt du, wenn Elie Wiesel hat gesagt, das hat dem Rebbe geschrieben, ein Brief, als er hat sich allein nicht vorgestellt, sich dem größten Chus, was er hat gehabt, was er hat kommen, Megerin auf Lubavitch. Öfter wird Shalomotche uns geben zu verstehen, dem Schuss, was er hat geahnt, als in sein Schuss hat er mit Kascha gewinnt, zendlicher Teuteriden zum Leben und gemacht der Ardos in Klal Yisrael. Sicher, das ist eine Achone, zu Vayichon schon Yisrael neged der Hor, ab Zolteke von Miyad Mame sicher sein, sehen dem Reben, והוא יגולנו יחי עדינינו מהירנו ורבנו מלך המשיח לעולם ועד. Und jetzt bekommt Gott, Shalom Mordechai.
L'chaim, Teil Brüder. I'm the one talking here. Okay, is the mittlere Rebbe gesagt, hat Zibber soll von der Werden, aber ich sehe es als Lechazeren. Lechaim. Dann eben mit der offenen in English, I can speak in English too, okay. Well, first of all, I'm very happy to be here. It's Dida Notzach, and David gave me a Dida Notzach also. So I'm able to speak here. So who would believe a week ago, Motzei Shabbos at night, if you'd see where I was Motzei Shabbos night a week ago, and Baruch Hashem, I'm here today standing in 770. Is a Heidul Hashem Kirteiv Kirim Chazdei, Leis Neflosh Deus Avadi Kirim Chazdei, is Nisim was we can't verstehen. I can only recount with you certain thoughts and feelings that goes through, and with time more comes up. But as I'm coming here, I remembered something. It always was on my mind actually. But when the whole thing first started, the thing started Bamas with when they came against Shchita, and they made a whole tumult against Shchita, and it was Motzei Shabbos, and some of my friends were emailing the Shalom Mordechai, what happened there? How did I hear that I heard? So I spent that after Mavmalk, I spent a few hours, and I put together a very, very detailed explanation of what goes on in the Shechita house, and how what they're saying is Poshat Ligen, and what's really happening is that there's a Mochama against the mitzvah of Shechita. That's really happening. Without getting into the Protim. And unfortunately, a lot of people, what I've come to realize is I spoke about it. I was here Wednesday night. You have to start thinking like a Yid and stop thinking like a Goy. Unfortunately, a lot of us take information from Goyim, and we try to filter it through our Yiddish cup, but it stays with the Goyish cook, and then we always get fadreit. Al Koponim. So I gave it out. So since then, my name came in front of the whole union of Shechita, and I became the target. Baruch Hashem, I had no problem with it, and I think this. I'll take the credit. I think Baruch Hashem, this is one company they didn't bring down. They want to make changes in Shechita, and I knew exactly what they're trying to do, and I explained to the Rabban what they're trying to do, and we didn't go along with it, and they got very angry at me. This happened in 2004, and everything else, if you want to read what happened. But the Ikar, why am I saying this, is as the thing goes on, as the Tzemach Tzedek fought the Maskilim, I became enveloped with a war with Maskilim, a Kegen Teira Akdesha, and they came personally against the whole situation. And as they came at me, I didn't realize how barbaric they would be. And they came out with these fantastic stories that were pushed on the ground. It's not negative truth to them. And it really bothered me, the Hepach Kiddush Hashem that was going on. And as the story kept on more, the one thing that really bothered me, Baruch Hashem, I was in business, I made a lot of money. All that stuff didn't really bother me. What really bothered me was the fact that there was a Hepach Kiddush Hashem going on. All my life I always wanted to make Kiddush Hashem. Whatever I did, I wanted to be Mekal Hashem Shemayim. And and I was doing it for a while, and the Mitamalik was going on in his head. So my wife wrote a letter to the Rebbe, and at the height of time that I was mamish zerbrochen, and she writes to the Rebbe that my husband is very zerbrochen, and what he's talking about is that there's a Hepach Kiddush Hashem Shemayim happening, and she got an answer. She put it in his case. She got an answer from the Rebbe. Your husband made Kiddush Hashem Shemayim before, and he will continue to make a big Kiddush Hashem Shemayim. I want to tell you something. This was a time, I know it's coming from the Rebbe, and I believe the Bamuna Shalem, I couldn't believe, how could this be? That every day another article was coming out, every day they're fabricating stories of how they can, and it was partially unfathomable. And now, you look now what's going on. Of the list actually has started a while ago. Now, the Kiddush Shemayim is going on as the Rebbe said, the Eibush will help us, you'll be a Kiddush Shemayim. In Meila, Zatman, how the Rebbe is always with us. That's the point I'm trying to say, in a very long way. I was trying to give you this part of how the Rebbe is with us, and how we have to believe and understand that everything we're doing is Hashgacha Pratis, and we should only want to continue doing what the Rebbe tells us to bring Mashiach now. The guy by Tevis, the Rebbe says that Tevis was the outside looked like it was a fight about Sforim, but it was a lot deeper. The Rebbe said that the whole fight was about Nesius. There was a lot deeper going on than what we saw on the outside thing. And the same thing with the story here. There's a lot more going on that we still look at the outside. There was a lot. This whole war was really a war against the people trying to, the same way they were trying to take over the Yehudi, who was a Jew. They were trying to take over Kashrus and define what Kashrus is and take it away from Torah mitzvahs. Akaponim. So I want to say, I'll share with you a few stories. I'll share with you one story. That we all grew up with the Tanya and with the Skafia. Skafia, what's a Skafia? Skafia means that the Einhalten. So when the second time after the court, they threw me into jail, and the guy tells me it was in South Dakota, and they bring him to a room, and they start taking clothes off. They take off, so I started taking my clothes, and I came by tzitzis, and I said, tzitzis also? I said, yeah, everything has to go. So I can't take off my yarmulke and tzitzis, this is, I can't move without yarmulke and tzitzis or avamis. So he says, listen buddy, I remember the guy till today, a farmer. He says, listen, buddy, but it was good. Listen what he says to me. He says to me, listen, buddy, your life has changed. A lot of things are changing in your life, and get with it. I heard the word that he expects me to change. I made a decision right then and there. I'm not changing. Who's changing? I was where I was before. I said, I can't. So he was so tickled. He never saw a guy telling him not to do what he tells him to do. So he yanks me and throws me into a cell, and they set everything up in Eifim Cheshech, and he says to me, they came and hold a conversation there about taking my yarmulke and tzitzis, and I wanted to bring the Frierdiker Rebbe into the situation. So he says he has a rabbi he's going to confirm with. So the rabbi sends an email that Dina the Malchus Dina. And I should listen to what he's saying. He brings me a message. Huh? This is the scene you have to see is behind bars and shack. It's an entire scene. So I say to him, the Rebbe Rayatz was said of him gesagt, as the Rebbe gesagt, as only the neshama, only the guf went to Golus, and the neshama went to Golus. And the guf can't tell me what to do, but the comes neshama thinks that telling me what to do. He says, huh? I said that I tried to explain to the Rebbe Rayatz was, but I don't think he got it. But he did leave. He left. He came back, and he came back with the pshara. And I remember the pshara to clearly tell. I wasn't taking the pshara anyways, but the pshara was yarmulke yet, tzitzis no, tzitzis yet. And I said, by the way, where's my kosher food anyways? So the intimidation, what happens further is really not important. They came in 6 shlobis in riot gear, literally, with shields and helmets, and you're alone. I was never really alone. That's the main point. And the point is, we're not allowed to change ourselves. And the Eibers, they give me kayach, and whatever they did, I'm not getting over here, it's just nicht wichtig. I had an interesting night with these people, and I don't want to talk negative things, I want to talk positive things. The fact is, they said to me, you're going to change, and a Yid knows b'chidush b'nefesh he can change. And it goes down to b'chidush b'nefesh. What's happening today, Eden are getting together. Where does it come that Eden are getting together like this? I went to my parents' house for Shabbos. I very much wanted to be together with everybody in here in 770 for 8 tables. I have elder parents. The keep it up aim had to be there. and you saw the simcha. I walked in the streets to shul, everybody coming over and saying mazel tov from kol sugi, from chassidim, Litvish, and it's just very, very encouraging, very beautiful. The house was full the whole night, mamish whole night, whole day. People are so happy, people joining. How the emunah betochen is so strong by them now. And where's it coming from? There's nobody taught. There's nobody there that's telling you to do anything. It's a spontaneous come from Eden. Eden ma'achad themselves, and I tell them that the same way we ma'achad ourselves, and to bring out a geula proti for Yid, this will happen. All our Torah and tefillah and mitzvahs and all the things that we're doing all these years, and I have to thank everybody personally, and for doing everything and davening, and that brought the Yeshua, right? That brought the Yeshua. So now we have to take that same achdus that we got to unite together, and we have to partial work. That tell the Eibishter we have to be Mashiach now. That for the good of Kloli. And everybody I talk to is excited about it. It's not tight, there's excitement about the Indian people talking about it. So this is what we have to do. We have to take the Didanotzach from Heit Tevis and bring it through Avis Yisrael. The Rebbe always talked to Avis Yisrael and Achtus Yisrael. And I'm sure the Rebbe is very happy with we're looking at how we're doing this, and the Rebbe is bringing all the brachas on us. And this is the way we're going to bring Mashiach with Avis Yisrael. And being united and being makir that ain't mulvade, what they try to do to you. And I was 8 years in a very, very rough place. The place is, I always say it's a place called prison. And the reason why I verbalize that because I never want to think myself as in prison, right? Because if you mask him that you're in something, then you become that. And another thing is, I never wanted to think like a goy. I always strive to want to think like a Yid. How does a Yid look at something? How does a Yid look at when he runs into a Nesoyan? Is it something that happened by chance? No, it's basic. I'm going to teach you everything. You know more than I know. Hashem teaches us, the Rebbe teaches us in Sichas Betochen, the Rebbe teaches us, the Rebbe teaches us. The Rebbe teaches about Betochen. Betochen is not a fantasy. Betochen is Amishadach. The Rebbe says that Betochen in something brings the Gula. So when you're in trouble, what do? You have Betochen. No, you don't go to a lawyer. You have to go to a lawyer because the Eibishter wants you to go to a lawyer, but the lawyer's not going to do nothing for you. Fact speaking, I got denied and denied and denied and denied. My lawyer's standing here. Chaim Yosef Apfel. That tzaddik, he worked 4.5, 5 years, and he's another American, and he thought that that was Varen. I told him, every call we had, we first thing we did was Tefillim, and we learned a Sikha. I don't know if it's true. A Chazer a Sikha from the Rebbe. And once we brought that in, then we went to work what we had to do. The issue wasn't coming from I got denied and denied. He brought out the rayas, he found documents. He was sure. I'd sagen azay, sagen azay. Aber the Chutzpah von der Nefesh Abamis is nicht beschreiben, right? If you tell your Nefesh Abamis you're not supposed to do something, he's going to read you right away. That's a good fort of Efshiyah. Akoponim, after every single step that I got denied, the Yeshua came the next week. The last denial they can give me came, what's the date? I didn't get the, What was the first? 10 days ago. 10 days ago. And here is and I got 3-4 days ago. If the Rebbe wanted to show that the nest that's going to happen, I'm coming out, is not with Teva. So why do you have to go to Teva? Because the Rebbe wants to go to Teva. But the Rebbe wanted to be clear, the Rebbe had said that before he went to prison, he would give all the money in life not to go into prison. And I can tell you, I understand it very, very well. You give away everything. Not have to go one day. You give away everything. But after you're there, I wouldn't take all the money in the world to give up for the schus to be in there. You should know that every single Shevet sat in prison. Yosef sat in prison. He took through his brothers into prison. The only Shevet, I don't know if Shevet Binyamin, Akalponim, whoever was any other Shevet, they all sat in prison. So once you're sitting in prison, you're not going to give it up, right? Right. But we got denied every single time. And David says, "Now you guys think you're running the show. Let me devise and Shalom is coming home." And they came home. And And I mentioned that I took so much longer than tanzen. I guess I'm trying to give over a little bit of chizik for myself, but it's clear that the Bilun Chassidus, Avayu Elikim, is Emes. Avayu Elikim. Van Elikim, van Teva, but Emes is van Avayu. But we have to see the Avayu. I don't want to give anybody any, this is not, my verbringen, we hebben mashkel, but we have to stop pushing, we have to stop thinking like a goy and think like Eden. And when we go about something, we should think how did it go about it. And we see over here, Baruch Hashem, the Rebbe gave Kech through Mun B'toch, and we came to the Gula. There was no other way to get it. And Baruch Hashem, I got it. And the Rebbe helped that through the Gula Prot, we got to go Kloli. We should all have other done now. Ultimate done. People came up to me in Baruch telling me, the whole simcha that we're seeing here is only a taste. Well, that's at Baz and Borough Park. The whole taste is how Mashiach is, how it's going to look when Mashiach comes. Other than Mashiach ain't. But they understand that this is just a taste of how it's going to look when Mashiach comes. So today, we have to be ready, and the Rebbe is sicher ready, and the Rebbe is sicher ready. So let's get on. The L'chaim is story. A story. Everybody's dancing. L'chaim, everybody. I thank again for your tefillin with the verbringen. L'chaim.
Shekech Shalom Mordechai, so der Rebbe der Menschen mit die ganze Mischpoche, mit Bonne Chayim, mit seiner Reviche, und Zeire Agre, Simches Mischpoche, gesund und Naches, und it should continue to inspire the whole world mit eich Simche, mit eich Archove. We also have here the lawyer, Reb Chaim Yosef Apfel, that had the schus to help him. So we would like to be our pleasure, our honor, to call on Reb Chaim Yosef. He should share some words with Hey Davis.
L'chaim. Baruch shechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh. There are so many thoughts that I have at this moment. The first thought that I want to share with you is that last Wednesday, when I had the schus to receive the phone call from the White House, and I was informed, Mr. Apfel, the President of the United States has just signed a commutation of the sentence of your client, Mr. Rubashkin, and he's free to go home. I thank the Kadosh Baruch Hu for giving me the schus to see a nes nigla right in front of my eyes. And the White House said to me that I'm not allowed to share this information until they put out a press release, not with anyone in the family, not with any of the other lawyers who were involved, because I was the principal lawyer. I was the only one who was allowed to know, because I had to get in touch with the prison to arrange for Shalom Mordechai to come home. So what did I do? The first thing I did, I just started dancing in my office all by myself. But then Shalom Mordechai, I don't know if you even know this, I took out a Sefer Tehillim and I started saying Tehillim. Emes. I have to tell all of you, Baruch Hashem, I'm very proud to say that I'm a Kapitchnitzer. And I hope everyone here knows that Kapitchnitz and Lubavitch have always been very close. The Kapitchnitzer Rebbe took for his son-in-law, Zalman Garari. And my father, Zichroni Livracha, also was always very close with Lubavitch. Zalman and Chavala, their children. And my father used to travel to Hong Kong on business and became very close with Rav Afson. So Baruch Hashem, I yarshened good feelings for Lubavitch. But I must tell you, in the last 4.5 years, because of this such special person, I can tell you I now love Lubavitch. You know, Shalom Mordechai, you said that the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that you're going to do even greater Kedusha. And I don't know whether you were thinking about the Kedusha you're going to be doing now that Baruch Hashem you're back home. But the Olam should know the Divrei Kedusha, the Maaseh Kedusha that this man did in a place called prison. I must tell you, I had such a schus. About 20 minutes after I got the first phone call, I was given permission to call the warden to arrange for picking Mr. Rubashkin up. And this was actually pretty exciting for me because obviously the whole thing was exciting, but I called the prison and I said, I need to speak to the warden. You never get to speak to the warden. The man says, what's it about? I said, it's about my client, Shalom Rubashkin. He says, oh yeah, I know there's something going on. Let me know what you want to speak to the warden about. And then I had the pleasure to say, I'm so sorry, but I'm under instructions from the White House that I'm not allowed to speak to anyone but the warden. I will. So I got on the phone immediately with the warden. The warden tells me, Mr. Apfel, we received the letter from the president commuting Mr. Rubashkin's sentence, and I just want you to know that within 10 minutes he was removed from his cell, and he's sitting here now in my office. Would you like to speak to him? A klutz kasha, like the klutz kashas that you used to send out every week. I said, sure. And I said to you, Shalom Mordechai, and I say it now publicly, there are no words to describe how much I love you, and there are no words to describe the hakaras hatov I have to the Kadosh Baruch Hu for giving me the schus to be involved in this wonderful, wonderful mitzvah. And my love for Lubavitch and the connection to Shalom Mordechai started with Lubavitch. I don't know if people here know him, but there's a Rav, a Lubavitcher Rav in Los Angeles, who is Meiser Nefesh for Yidden, 24/7. His name is Tzvi Boyarsky. And he runs the Aleph office and the National Advocacy Center for Aleph, and the mitzvahs and ma'asim tovim that he does on a daily basis are really beyond count, infinite. And Tzvi was the one that, thanks to Tzvi, Baruch Hashem, I had the schus to get involved here.
He worked all 5 years and didn't take a dollar.
But I just want to share with you the Maaseh Kedusha that this man was able to accomplish in Mamish Amakom Tumah. Shalom Mordechai, I never told you this either, but I had the schus, kimat every week we had a 2-hour legal phone call, and every 6 weeks or so I flew from Los Angeles to New York, and we had at least 1 day or sometimes 2-day meetings in this place called prison. It was incredible to me every time I met with you, and you addressed, I don't want to even repeat it, but I knew I was speaking to an Ish Kadosh. Even in this Makam of Tumah, I knew I was speaking each time to an Ish Kadosh. And every Torah, every Vort, everything was always quoting in the name of the Rebbe. The Rebbe's Sichas, the Rebbe said this, the Rebbe said that. And as I said, thanks to Shalom Mordechai, I now love Lubavitch. About a year ago, I had the schus of the Sadigera Rebbe, Shlita, the Hantig Sadigera Rebbe from Eretz Yisrael, was in my house. We made a minyan for Mincha. I have the Omid of the Kapitchin Rebbe in my house. It was sent to me, and that's his uncle. And so we made a minyan for Mincha. And after Mincha, he told me, he said, because we had heard that he said, we have to do everything we can to get this Tyra Yid out of prison. And do you know why? He said, I went to that prison. He had gone to Otisville. He said, I met all the frum inmates there. And Rachmana litzlan, every one of them was a kli nishbar, a broken vessel. These are the words of the Sadigera Rebbe. Then I get to meet Shalom Mordechai Rubashkin, who has the biggest avla of them all, and I was prepared to meet the most tzebrachana person you can imagine. And I meet a Yid besimcha, a bal bitachon, haidu Hashem. I said, a Hasidish Yid, the Rebbe tells me, we have to do everything we can to get him out of that makom tumah. And I don't know if people here know, but Shalom Mordechai had the schus to make 6 brisson while he was in this place called prison. I don't think you can count the number of Yidden that started putting on tefillin thanks to Shalom Mordechai. And by the way, he never told me any of this. The reason I know these things is because 2 years ago, we were making a big push with the Obama administration to get a commutation. And we needed to put together information for the pardon office about why he should be zeicha for a pardon. So we got information from the prison. He never had any violations, not even warnings. But more importantly, this was 2 years ago, I'm sure it's a lot more now, he had 15 letters of commendation, certificates of commendation from the Bureau of Prisons. For what? One of them said, for teaching a class on the priestly blessings. There were Kohanim there, and Shalom Mordechai taught them Birkas Kohanim. Twice a week he gave shiurim, again, classes on the classical Hasidic treatise, the Tanya. Each one of these were certificates of commendation from the Bureau of Prisons. Twice a week, weekly shiurim on the portion of the Torah, Chumash, Parshas HaShavua. In addition to all the chizuk he gave to individuals. In fact, a very wise Rav said to me, do you know why Shalom Mordechai is still in prison? He's doing too many mitzvahs there. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is not going to let him out on this basis. That's what I was told. It's not my word. I'm just a lawyer. I just repeat what other people say. There's a lesson here. There's a lesson here for all of us. Every Yid has a tafkid, and whatever that tafkid is, we have to thank the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and we have to recognize that no matter what we do and where we are, there's always an opportunity to be Mekadesh Shem Shemayim. And that to me is the lesson of Shalom Mordechai Rubashkin, and the reason why the Kadosh Baruch Hu made this Nes Nigla, and the reason why he's with us here tonight. Mazel Tov to all of us.
Thank you, Reb Chaim Yosef. I just want to say you, Reb Chaim Yosef dedicated hundreds of hours, thousands. He didn't charge a penny, pro bono. So the Eibishter should bench you and your family, with Bona Chaim and Zene Revicha. So have a lot of atzlocha. I just want to tell you, you before mentioned the connection between Kapushnitz and Lubavitch. I just recently saw a letter from the Rebbe to Rebbe Tzingurari, Rebbe Zechabe Gurari. You know, now it's 40 years from Lamed Ches, when the Rebbe didn't feel good. You know him probably. In Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the Rebbe came home the first time. The Rebbe Tzingurari wrote a letter to the Rebbe, and she requested him he should take care of his health. So, and she sent him a copy from a letter that the Friedike Rebbe wrote to the Kapushnitzer Rebbe. And the Friedike Rebbe writes him, and he's asking him, he shouldn't make sigufim, he should make tanesim, he should watch his gesund. So Rebbe Tzingurari made a copy of this letter, and she sends to the Rebbe, Rebbe, this is what the Friedike Rebbe told my father, the Kapushnitzer Rebbe, and please I'm asking you. So the Rebbe answers there a letter, an Erev Rosh Chodesh, the same day at night the Rebbe went home. Erev Rosh Chodesh, the Rebbe writes her a letter, and the Rebbe said, I got your letter. The Rebbe said, a special thank you for the copy that you sent me, the letter. And the Rebbe says, the Friedike Rebbe writes so many titulin on your father, so this himself is, what can I do write more about your father when the Rebbe the Shver wrote, what the Friedike Rebbe wrote about your father? And the Rebbe benches here with, so have a lot of atzlocha and gesund with their husband. So I'm sure all the brachas that the Rebbe is benching, the family is benching you, and b'shem kol the family and kol anash, we bench you, you should have atzlocha and everything, and you should be zeicha to stand together with Reb Shalom Mordechai, and the first line, Shura Rishena, to greet the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. Tidan Notzach